Hey guys, welcome back to Leiloando Ideias. Today we're going to be giving you some tips on how to learn a new language.
As some of you may know, I'm Brazilian and Dan is born in the United States, but his family is Armenian. So my first language is Brazilian Portuguese and Dan's first language is Armenian. So Dan, what languages do you speak?
I speak English, obviously, Armenian. I know a little bit of Brazilian Portuguese now, as you know, and I used to know a good amount of French, a decent amount, but that was so long ago it's kind of just escaped my mind since then.
Yeah, well, I obviously speak English. During high school I had 3 years of Spanish, and during college I had 3 years of Italian. And today we're gonna give you a few tips on how to learn a foreign language. I started learning English when I was 12, but it wasn't until I was 17 that I was confident enough to start speaking, because I felt that if I ever spoke English to anyone, I would be super embarrassed and people would mock me and make fun of me and they would just laugh at me. And it wasn't until I was 17 that I realized that no, people actually appreciate that you're trying hard, and even though if you make a mistake, it's okay, because they are just, you know, gonna give you like the right answer, or they're just gonna help you out, right?
Yeah, for the most part, because now that you mentioned that, you know, obviously I think it's human nature to feel that way when you're learning a new language. And when I was a kid, I was brought up speaking Armenian first, but you know, I'd pick up English just because, you know, being raised in the country. But when I first started going to school when I was 4, I do remember some kids, you know, making fun of my accent and my English.
You were 4.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
You know, so that's like something that, you know, stuck with me even as an adult. So, like when we visited Brazil, I felt the same way. There was things that I knew how to say, and if I was on my own, I'd be confident to say out loud.
Yeah.
But being around natives, you start hesitating, and you get self-conscious about, you know, saying something wrong or with a poor accent, and that hesitation makes you not want to say what you want to say.
Yeah.
So I know the feeling.
So our first tip is don't be ashamed, don't be embarrassed, and try your best, because people are gonna help you, unless you're 4. Which I don't think any of you are, so yeah, I think we're good here.
You never know, it's 2018, a lot of kids have iPads.
Hey Miles. The second tip that we are gonna give you is to have as much exposure as you can to the language. Either if it's watching a TV series, reading a book, listening to music. What really helped me was reading books. I started picking up some books in English. I read most of Nicholas Sparks' books in English because it's a really easy read, especially for foreigners. And then eventually I picked up one of the Harry Potter books in English. And also during my Italian classes, I had a lot of not recommendations, but books that were mandatory for us to read in Italian, and that helped me a lot. And for Spanish, what really helps me are the telenovelas. Oh boy, do they help. What about you?
I'm pretty much the same thing, is trying to get as much exposure to the language as possible.
Does it help to be around Brazilians?
It does help to be around Brazilians. Like I know personally, specifically to me, one thing that I did, I watched a lot of instructional videos for instruments on YouTube, and I found this one channel of these 2 guys that are Brazilian, and all their videos are in Brazilian Portuguese, and they have videos on things I'm interested in, and I try to make a point of whenever I'm trying to watch a video for a specific thing to try to watch one of their videos, just so I could hear them saying it in the language and see what I can pick up on, and you know, if there's things I'm not sure of, you know, maybe something new that I can, you know, absorb. And going back to what you were saying about being around Brazilians, that is definitely one of the things that's helped me the most, is just being around the language and hearing it and being part of conversations. It's actually something I wish you would do more of, is speak Portuguese with me at home.
Oh, I can curse you.
I know that. I've learned those words.
What kind of things are you expecting me to say?
Just really simple, basic things like, you know, if you ask me to get a cup of water for you.
Okay. Can you give me... Oh no, that's in English.
You're so funny.
Você pode me dar um copo d'água?
Sim.
Aww. So now we're gonna share how we personally like to learn another language. So my experience is that I'm the kind of person that needs to go to traditional schools and actually be taught by someone, to have a teacher, to have homework, to have other people around, like they're learning the same things and then we are doing the whole experience together. That's what helps me learn. It's totally because I'm a lazy person that I cannot learn anything on my own, like for reals. That's why I went to film school and I spent a shitload of money. But I know that you've been learning on your own, so why don't you share that experience?
Yes, I've been using an app to learn Brazilian Portuguese.
What's the name of the app?
The app is Duolingo.
Is it free?
It is free, yes.
For your cell phone, or can you use it on a computer?
It's available on. They have mobile versions for iOS, Android. You can access it from a desktop computer as well, which is very convenient.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, using the app, the thing that's helped me the most is repetition. Mm-hmm. So it's broken down into like lessons, but what's helped me is going over lessons 10, 15, 20, 25 times, just repeating the same thing over and over and over until it just becomes like second nature, how language is supposed to be.
Yeah, for me what really helps is conversation. So that's why, because right after I finished my Italian classes, I took 3 years, and then after 6 months of not really like speaking to anyone, I went to Italy with my parents, and I was able to communicate fully in Italian with everybody for the duration of my trip, which is like in Italy. I was there for 10 days. However, nowadays, every time I see one of my best friend's grandma and she's Italian, she doesn't speak any other language, I froze because I haven't had any exposure in 8 years, and I completely, like, I go crazy because then I start thinking in English, Spanish, and Italian at the same time, and I don't know what to say and how to reply to grandma. It's really confusing, and I actually have to pick up more Italian again because I'm gonna see grandma next year at my friend's wedding. So yeah, I need to go back and like I really want to like get some books in Italian or listen to more Laura Pausini. But yeah, and my main problem is also because I'm starting to mix a lot of Spanish, because I was working with dubbing from Mexican telenovelas from Spanish, like all over Latin American Spanish to Brazilian Portuguese, and watching all of those telenovelas made my Spanish a little stronger. So it got to a point that now I'm kind of like thinking in Spanish at the same time, and since Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian, they're quite similar, my mind, guys, it's complicated.
Oh, I know. When I first started learning Portuguese, my Spanish is not very good at all, but just even the very limited knowledge I have of the language, it made it very confusing for me because I wanted to pronounce things like you would in Spanish. So yeah, it was just very confusing. It was like my brain was like scrambled eggs the first few weeks.
Oh, it always is. So.
So nowadays, it's very easy to get access to tools that will help you learn a new language, whether it's an app on your phone or it's software you use on your computer. There's a lot of easily accessible options out there that don't cost a lot of money, or like even classes you took.
Or even watching Netflix, they have a lot of original series that are in foreign languages. One that I really liked watching and helps me with my Spanish is Ingobernable, starred by Kate de Castillo, El Chapo's best friend.
And Sean Penn.
And Sean Penn. And also you can stream music online that are like from other countries. I know that Brazilian Portuguese music are out there. You can listen to our funk, axé, samba, anything on Spotify. Just don't ask any of the Siris and Alexas because they cannot, for the life of themselves, find the music to play for you because they don't understand. So you have to actually type the names, but you will find. We hope you find this video helpful, and if you have different tips on how to learn a new language, please let us know. We're always down to learn new things. And subscribe to the channel because we're always here together talking about beauty, talking about lifestyle, or maybe sometimes I'm here by myself and he's doing other things, but I'm always here. And I guess that's it, and thanks for watching, guys, and bye.
Ciao.
Adios.
Au revoir.